I will start with, and I'll touch, if I can't go through all the slides and everything in them, I'll try to go and touch to the most important points and leave the rest for the questions, as I just said. So physical and sustainability in Kuwait. The problem, well, everybody knows, and I will just reassure it that the main problem we have is high dependence on oil production, exports, and revenue. Oil revenue represents 92% from our general revenue. So this by itself is the major obstacle in our economy. This is why I called my presentation diversification. Efforts to diversify non-oil, of course, and I'm sure many of the audience would know it's not something easy to do. The average growth rates of spending is 18%, exceeding the revenue, which is 16%, and this is getting wider, and this is why this year we started, including the oil price declining over 50% in the last 6 months, even a bit more. We will start in Kuwait to see a real deficit budget. Oil exports represents 93% of our export, and this causes high volatility and of the economy, activity, and stability, and because we depend on external revenue, and because of all the above, growth and stability is impossible. So here I will. This slide talks about the oil income versus non-oil income, and as you can see, the difference is extremely high. There we talk about the concentration of exports, and you see it's mostly oil. And this slide shows the current spending is very high compared to capital spending. And having said that, we've managed this year to decrease our current spending by the general budget by 17% and increase the capital spending by 13%. The other graphic with the public spending is mainly subsidies and payroll that represent 70%. So 50% of my budget is payroll, salaries. 20% is subsidies. So there you would see a major structural disorder in our economy. The other two slides, very fast growth of, subsidies, which is, you can see, and it is really alarming. And the other slide is the graph. I mean, growth of payroll bill is very, and if you can imagine in the last 10 years, if you can see the number of, we doubled, and this is all because of managed salaries increase from different departments. Now we have the actuarial deficit problem, and this is mainly the difference between employees' contribution to the social security and the actual liability of public institution for social security. And this amount has been increasing, and since 2007 we paid around 14 billion dinars, which is more or less 30 billion pounds. The new information that just came in and to us that this amount is still going on and increasing. And so the physical position of Kuwait is definitely unsustainable in the future, and it is urgent to take action to diversify economy and control spending. So the scheme for physical consolidation went to control the payroll bill, to enhancing the capacity of private sector to start helping us. And we have our population structure, 50% is over 50% is young generation, and they're coming. We've been absorbing them in the market, and this has been costing us high wage bill and has increased the unproductivity. So very fast too, we are reforming the payroll system, and the government is presenting now what we call the strategic alternative, which is supposed to be it's a program where it will increase the payroll in the short run, but in the long run it will lead to savings estimated by 16 billion dinars in the next decade, which is around 35 or 34 billion pounds. Repricing public and services, we're now across the board looking into all our services, and which is way underpaid and undervalued. We're trying to make them to increase non-oil revenue into our budget. We were trying to make it without affecting the economy. We're talking about subsidies of fuel and water, electricity, education, healthcare, services, and other represents about 20% of, as I mentioned, public spending. And the average growth of that number is 23%, which is very unlikely to see anywhere else. The main weakness of the current subsidy system is that it is generalized, i.e. it provides for everybody regardless of the need of it. So we need to direct subsidies to eligible citizens only and replace, we're thinking of a program now with the World Bank of replacing the existing system to direct subsidies, which is called transferred subsidy. Public finance management reform, this is a program we're working with the World Bank, and it's to ensure effectiveness and efficiency of budget preparation and implementation. Taxation reform, those points I have to touch all. Kuwait is considered as one of the tax haven in the world. In principle, and I have to state this very importantly, in principle, Kuwait is not intending to tax personal income of citizens. Corporate tax is only applied to foreign companies so far in Kuwait. We are thinking to extend that to local as well. Other forms of indirect taxation, like on luxurious goods, is in the process, and of course what we call VAT. This is to be discussed and with the GCC Council, to make it as a GCC. You know, the GCC Ministers of Finance have decided that this has to be done together, and this is under process now. So the structural reforms, I've talked about the physical, now the structural reforms. We have the aim of Kuwait 35. For that, we're proposing Kuwait planning to undertake major and mega infrastructure projects. And we're talking about privatization. Is expected to raise the share of the private sector in the provision of public goods and services to increase efficiency and reduce cost of our wage bill. The National Fund of SMEs, it's a fund that has been announced or formed 2013. The fund aims to provide finance for small businesses set up by citizens. It's with a capital of around 4.3 billion pounds, and it finances entrepreneurs up to 80%. Lord Marlin here sits on the advisory board from England, and it has great experts running this fund. We're hoping that with this fund, we would see the entrepreneur sector is increasing, which has not been so far lately. I'm almost passing my time. Foreign direct investment promotion. It's a law used to be before ineffective. In 2014, the agency has been, the law has been amended and the agency has been formed. Kadiba will, and it's called Kadiba, Kuwait Direct Investment Promotion Authority. Kadiba will improve the overall investment climate fostering competitiveness and encouraging local capital to stay in Kuwait, including to be able to invite foreign investments. And talking about that, we were so glad last week the first corporate has been formed in Kuwait under this law, and it's a fully owned corporate for IBM. And this only gives us an indication that the Kuwaiti environment started to be again attractive. And I'm happy to say that very soon you will hear another big, huge names in the same and different industrial sectors. And then the other law is the public and private partnership, which has been amended as well. We have a huge project, power generation, which has almost now is in commission. With the GD Swiss has came into Kuwait, and they're partnering up with us, and that for 40 years. And we have another 2 power generation plants are announced. So we're inviting foreign investors to come in and to participate in that, and also another huge solid waste project and some other sewage projects. Together with the corporate law and the license law, all those legislations, we hope to develop a better business environment in Kuwait. Capital Market Authority law, which has been announced. We were the latest country to be self-regulated. Now we have an independent regulatory body. They are among the amendments. They to attract foreign investments, provide tax exemptions on capital gains on foreign investments, and to ensure the free flow of funds from and to Kuwait. A very important issue among their mandates is to take all necessary steps and actions to include Kuwait in the emerging market index. The lights started to turn red. And on the right time, conclusions. Well, by those actions, Kuwait hopes to be able to diversify its economy. It is the main subject, and to reduce its heavy dependence on oil, to achieve its vision of becoming a commercial and a financial hub, to enhance its competitiveness in the global economy, to attract adequate foreign direct investments, and to sustain its public finance over the long term, promote the income and welfare levels of its people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the excellent presentation.